Hey everyone, Pastor Jody here. Thanks for clicking on this video and just giving me a few minutes of your day. I want to talk today about love. You know, you expect to hear a pastor talking about love, right? The Bible sure talks a lot about love, but it's one thing to talk about love and hear sermons about love and think about love. It's a whole nother ballgame when we experience extraordinary love, when someone shows us love that really catches us off guard. And a couple of books that I want to reference today. First of all is a book called Love Does. It's a 10-year-old book written by Bob Goff back in 2012. I want to recommend it to you. He tells some amazing stories of how he's received love, but also how he shows love. It's interesting. You get to the end of this book about love, and he says, you know what? If you ever want to call me, I'd love to connect with you. Gives his cell phone number. You say, yeah, right. Come on. No, my daughter's called him a couple of times. He's picked up every time, and they've had a nice little chat. Love does, right? Doesn't just say it does. Well, another book that recently came across my attention is called Glad You're Here. And it's written, co-authored by a country singer by the name of Walker Hayes and a pastor by the name of Craig Cooper. And it's about their relationship. And I didn't know until reading this book recently that 5 years ago, Walker Hayes wrote and sang a song called Craig. It's about Craig Cooper, the pastor. And I just want you to hear these words to this song. It's a story of how Walker Hayes showed up at church drunk and down and hurting, and how he was loved on by Pastor Craig. He said, I met Craig at church, at a church called Redeeming Grace. It's like he understood my I don't want to be here face. I felt out of place and I smelled like beer, but he just shook my hand and he said, I'm glad you're here. He says, we'll all be judged, but he was never judgmental. And even though my songs didn't belong in no hymnal, he'd quote my lyrics, slap me on the back, said, man, you got a gift. How did you write like that? Yeah, I know. He sounds cool, right? Not your typical kid from Sunday school, right? I still ain't figured out church yet, but Craig, I get. Nah, he can't walk on water and turn Napa Valley red, but he just might be tight with a man that did. Nah, he's not the light of the world, but I wish that mine was bright as his. Yeah, he just might be tight with a man that is. Then he says this, when you lose a record deal, y'all, the perks fade fast. Dealership said we're going to need that minivan back. So we're down to one car, and broke as I felt, had my wife and 6 kids and only 5 seat belts. I needed help but couldn't admit I was struggling. Said, Craig, it's all good, but he knew it all wasn't. Hey man, I'm praying for you would have been sufficient. But no, he took roadside assistance to a whole nother level, to sacrificial heights. Showed up at the ballpark after my son's game one night, in 2 cars with his wife Laura watching from the other. I said, what in the world are you doing here, brother? He just laughed beside that old Chrysler Town and Country van with the keys and the title and a pen in his hand, said, man, all you got to do is sign and it's y'all's. I said, no way. But he wouldn't take nah for an answer. He said, please, dude, somebody did this for me once. Just let me do this for you. We argued about it for a while, then I teared up and Craig smiled. My pride was way too ashamed to be adequately grateful at the moment, but I signed the dotted line and I drove the kids home. And when a cop pulled up beside us at the light, as they didn't have to duck, because thanks to Craig, they were all buckled up. And this book really describes love that is put into action. So my encouragement to you today is don't just talk about love. Act on it. Let us all think about ways, even this week, that we can show love to others in an extraordinary, tangible, real-life way, just like Pastor Craig did. I hope that encourages you. Have a good day.